Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And tonight I am here with...
Soon, the Barbarian!
And he's playing his warrior who happens to be level 15, right?
That's right.
And I am literally less than one bubble away from being level 14, where I get my new level spells. But we want to go check out a new area. We died on the last episode because I just completely failed as a healer. And I let Thune just slowly, like agonizingly slowly after I went back and watched the video, I just let him just die. And you actually wanted to check out a new area, is that right?
Yeah, we're going to go to, I think it's East Karana, right off the wooden bridge. To the right of the wooden bridge, there's some knolls, and I believe that they're about right perfect for our level. So we're going to go there, guys, and probably in the video after this, I think we're going to go to the King's, the what is it called? The maze, where the Minotaurs and the Evil Eyes sometimes are. So basically what we're going to try and do, guys, is we're going to try and show you as much of the game as we possibly can, and we know how. And eventually I want to go to High Pass and kill the orcs and the gnolls. So we're just going to have as much fun and show you guys as much of the game as we possibly can.
Well, the cool thing that I really enjoy is that you remember some zones, and I remember other zones very well. And with the combination of having people like that in a group constantly going to different places together, you're actually able to do that. I mean, one person's knowledge can only be so extensive. And yeah, as you play the game, eventually a lot of it starts to come back to you. But I mean, there's zones out there that I never went to because I wasn't a druid. And that's really where a lot of people who soloed spent a lot of their time. And as a tank with the Shadow Knight, you know, yeah, you could solo, but not the same way as a druid. Like, the druid can solo harder creatures and zones that my Shadow Knight would not even dare go into because there was no chance of ever finding a group. I kind of like zones like that, like this one. I could solo in it, but at the same time, there was always a chance that a group would be put together and I could get into it and I could make a lot more experience that way. If I went into a zone that actually had groups, I would never get in because, as I said before, the game was so populated back then that it literally was a waiting list and they had their pick. And why would they pick a Shadow Knight over pretty much any of the other characters or other classes out there? Mage was another one that even when they wanted to get into a group, a lot of the time they couldn't.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't know how many times the mage would be like, can I get on the list? And everybody would just laugh and be like, yeah, we'll put you on the list, alright. And then they would never put him on the list.
You would think a mage with their damage output, man.
There's a Shadow Man there.
Ooh, Shadow Man, wow. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. He's a necromancer too, look at his pet.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Gotta watch out for those guys.
Yeah, he would destroy us.
And there's a 22 SK looking for a group. So yeah, it's a zone that SKs really like. Shadow Knight's really kind of like a zone like this, but
now, AC, I have a question for you. Since you played a Shadow Knight extensively, did you ever fear kite solo with him?
You know, I pretty much did everything with that guy at one point or another. I did fear kite, but he didn't do it very well. And I don't know if it was a combination of me just not knowing how to do it very well, or the fact that at the time I was playing, the Shadow Knight was very, I guess I could say nerfed compared to what he became later on.
Yeah, I don't think your fear spell lasts long.
Oh, no. And it resisted so many times.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I don't think the Shadow Knight's fear spell is very effective. So, but I could be completely wrong about that now. So please correct us. Leave a comment below if you know better, guys. We're some of the stuff we're just speculating on. So.
Well, no, I mean, I do remember the fear not taking half the time. The one thing I do remember the worst is that you're dooming darkness, or you're engulfing darkness, which is a dot and a snare. It lasts a fair decent amount of time, but I don't think it lasts anywhere near as long as like snare does for a druid, because it also has the effect of a dot. It not only snares, but it also adds some damage to the creature. So
didn't it cause blindness too?
I don't think it did. No, that was the paladin spell, the flash of light or whatever.
Okay, so I thought cleaning darkness also blinded the mob, but I'm not certain. I remember when Sony Online took my necromancer's fear away versus other players. That was a very sad day for us.
I never played on PvP, so I don't even remember that being a thing.
Well, now neither did I, but I used to duel people a lot with my necromancer, and I never lost because I could fear kite. I could fear kite other characters, guys. And then one day Sony was like, "You can't do that anymore because it's too overpowered." And they were right. But it took necromancers from being one of the best duelers in the game to, okay, I'm not going to duel anybody with my necromancer anymore because I keep getting spanked. But yeah, there was a day when we could fear kite people, and I used to love to do it, guys.
There's an Aviok Rock, which is
What
down
level is
there.
he?
Red to me. I don't know what he is to you.
I don't see him.
Yeah, I never really dueled
Oh,
anybody that I can imagine back when I'm thinking about my first time through. The
yeah.
only time I ever really fought anybody was one of my friends had a wedding. They actually got married in the game because they met on the game and they, fell in love that way. And they actually had a wedding where the GMs came out and they presided over the event, over the wedding, and they, everybody was there and they were all sitting behind. It was pretty cool because the GM showed up and he actually cast some kind of, it looked like a spell, but I'm sure it was just a command that made like benches show up, and he had a little altar, and they stood
Nice.
behind it. And it was over there in what was the name of the zone? I mean, the ceremony was in Greater Fadar, but then we moved over to, I think it was called the Arena or something like that. It's a zone that when you enter it,
PvP is, yeah.
yeah, that's all it is. There's no monsters, no nothing. It's just a giant area for people to fight each other. And it's kind of funny because that was like their after party. Everybody got to go over there and kill each other and stuff. You do got to remember though, when you die, you spawn back wherever your spawn point is and stuff like that. So
Now, do you remember if there's experience stat in a duel? I don't think there's experience. I don't think
no,
you
there's
lose any
not.
experience.
There's
Okay.
not, and that's why people use it to. And I don't know if this is legal or not, guys, but this is something definitely people do. And I know the GM's Surican, when he's talked about it, he does not appreciate. He does not like that fact at all, and he's been known to come by and do some pretty nasty things to people that do this. But if you're fighting a mob, a named, and you're there by yourself or you're there with one other person, and it drops a lore item, what you can do is put that lore item in one of your slots, not in a backpack, but one of your slots, and then when you duel somebody and die, you come back in and loot your body, you leave that lore item on the body. And so if you're bound just like right outside the zone, or even better yet, you bind yourself right where you're at, have somebody duel you, you lose on purpose, you don't lose any experience, you spawn right there again, you pick up all your junk, but you leave that lore item there. When you kill that creature again and he drops that same lore item, which may be worth 2, 3, 4, K or whatever on plat, you can loot it again because it's not on your character, and that's all that lore
So
means.
that's a bug. Yeah, it's a known bug. Okay.
It's not really a bug, it's something that was classic and people used it to their advantage back then as well, but it's not something that's promoted. So I heard one of his casts, Surican, was talking about it, where he's been known to come by and accidentally click the button that erases all your corpses. Because you got to remember that, okay, yeah, you camping the guy, you're earning the experience, you're earning the loot, but if you weren't there, somebody else might be. And because you're doing that, you're able to stay longer than you should be. And that's kind of the whole thing behind the lore, is that they don't want you to stay there past getting the item. Like, get the item and then leave and make room for somebody else. And I think I'm frozen or something here because it's not zoning me in. Are you in?
Yeah, I'm already on the other side. It does that sometimes. Sometimes the game freezes up when I try and zone. I mean, that happens like maybe once a PlayStation, maybe once every other PlayStation.
I guess I'll give it another 30, 40 seconds and see if it fixes itself. But I may have to stop the video here and just reload back in, guys. I do apologize for that. The game isn't perfect. The original game wasn't perfect. And in fact, I remember sitting here for like 5-10 minutes, sometimes on really, really bad nights with dial-up, just waiting to zone. Like, you would see the little bar at the bottom and the stupid little messages that would pop up. And in new video games, they put those messages on the load screen, but you don't ever have any time to read them. In the old way with dial-up, you had plenty of time to read every single one of them. And so they started actually adding like humor to it, like creating gnome hair and populating dwarf women with beards and stuff like that. It's like funny stuff that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. But yeah, I think it's frozen, guys. So I am going to go ahead and stop this video, and I will paste the pieces together. I do apologize again, guys. Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm gonna have to piece these things together, but yeah, I do apologize that it kind of messed up there. So which way are we going?
We're going to the right, and hopefully we're going to eventually come along a wooden bridge. And now another thing, guys, if you're watching this series, especially if you're on AC Gamer's channel, because right now a lot more people are watching him than they are watching me, but I'm really curious. I remember back in the day that Bertoculix, I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but he was the god of disease. Yeah, no, he was a god. He was one of the gods, god of famine, god of disease.
That's not the dragon over in what's that zone? The one over there with the Coroner's Castle?
See now, I think that's Trakanon. I could be mistaken, but I think that's Trakanon.
Is it? I thought Trakanon was
Trakanon's the
in...
evil guy who caused the war between the Ixars and the dragons.
I thought he was somewhere over in Canark somewhere in like the Emerald Jungle or something like that, maybe.
See,
I could be wrong on that. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm not really certain about it either. All I remember is that Bertoculix used to fly over, I think it was Western Karana or Eastern Karana, and he would drop off a bunch of bugs, plague bugs. Now, guys, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm really curious as to whether I'm misremembering or if that actually happened. And hopefully AC Gamer, he'll read his comments and he'll let me know one way or another whether that's how it actually went down. Because I remember my friend being a high-level druid and me being kind of lower level at the time, and this happening, and him fighting off a horde of bugs while everybody else escaped with his druid. And I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering, but please let me know, guys, because I'm really curious as to whether that actually happened or not.
You still have Spirit of the Wolf?
What is, no, it's actually, ooh, look at all these guys, dude.
What are they?
They're raiders. And they're hostile. Ooh, one's blue. You want to kill them?
Are they all blue or just one?
2 are blue, the rest are green.
They're all blue to me, so yeah, I would say let's kill. Do you have any buffs on you? Let me buff you up.
Yeah, I've got all your buffs except for So.
Okay,
so
and I just put that on you.
It's not registering. Did you really?
I did. Unless it got interrupted. That spell gets interrupted quite a bit unless I come to a complete stop.
Yeah,
like
yeah, I do that all the time with my cleric, man. I'll stand up and I'll take a step forward, and it'll interrupt my my gameplay, which is, oh, okay, we're gonna get all of them.
Yeah,
then.
you may have to zone it if it gets bad, but yeah, I don't ever do that. I don't ever use the arrow keys to stand up. You definitely have to use the stand and sit button. You need to get in the habit of using the duck button as well to interrupt your spells rather than moving forward and backwards. Otherwise, you're going to pick up aggro, and your spells still have an opportunity to go off, and you're wasting time in the meantime, because when you duck, it interrupts it right off the bat. But when you move forward and backwards, you're just hoping that it naturally gets interrupted. Now, let me go ahead and start healing you up now that you got some aggro there.
All right, let me know if you catch any aggro. One of these guys is about to die. He died.
Yeah.
Oh, you got all the aggro. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was.
One's dead.
I was worried about that. Yeah, they're pretty much the only way you can stop that from happening. As a Shadow Knight, you have a little bit more control over that.
You need to send me an invite. I'm not in your group. Maybe that's
nice.
why.
There we go. And I'm about to die here.
Oh, run, dude. Run to the bridge.
No.
Run to the bridge. Zone it off.
Oh, my God. They put some crap on me. I'm slowed. Actually, I don't have anything on me, but I'm just moving really slow, I guess, because my life is really low.
You're definitely outstripping them, though.
Somebody's casting a spell.
Yeah.
37 points of damage. Holy crap, I'm down to 6%.
No.
Let me know if they're going to catch up, and I'll stop and heal myself.
No, just keep running, dude. Keep going. Yeah, they're right behind you now. You've lost enough health where...
If he hits me again...
Okay, the caster's on me now.
Okay. Man, I tossed you an invite. I don't know if you got it. Oh, no, the Raiders on me.
Oh, God.
Oh, crap. I'm down to 3%.
I stopped all the rest of them, dude.
I am not going to make this.
Oh, God, no.
I'm down to 4%. Oh, we are so far away from the freaking...
if I can get him off of you...
Use an arrow or something if you got it. Because I think you can do that while you run. Oh, I'm dead.
No,
dang
crap.
it. Okay, well, as we can see there, if your tank does not hold aggro...
I wonder if that had something to do with us not being grouped.
No, I mean, it would have helped that we could have seen what our life was and everything like that. But no, I mean, you're going to get the same amount of aggro if you're grouped or not. So it was just because you were only attacking one creature at a time rather than all of them. And
so you need as a tank, you need an area of effect taunt.
No, that's the whole point in this one is you don't get that. You literally have to go above and beyond and target each and every single one of them, cast a spell on each and every one of them, and build up the taunt that way. And unless you do that, things like this happen. So, I mean, I'm not blaming you at all, but I'm just saying like that is one of the techniques that you have to get accustomed to doing when you're playing a tank without a mez class. So.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought that we'd only get the blue ones and we wouldn't get all the green ones, but we did.
They're all blue to me. They're all blue to me.
I wonder if that's why they must be just on the verge of green, because only 2 were blue to me, the rest were green. And I think that if they hadn't all got on you, we would have actually won the day there.
Oh yeah, we would have been fine if they had stayed on you, but
So I killed that one. I killed that one in like maybe 4 or 5 hits.
that's
So
what
some of them were, yeah, some of them were really deep green to me.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm not blaming you at all. I'm just saying, like, in a situation like that, guys, if you're trying to figure out what you should be doing, I would highly suggest that you let the tank build up a little bit of aggro first and allow the tank to attack each and every one of them. With the Shadow Knight, as I was saying during the fight, they really shine in situations like that because they are a... Oh, I actually got Spirit of the Wolf cast on me already. Somebody ran by and gave that to me. That's pretty nice. But yeah, they're able to cast a dot on each one of them, so they can just switch targets real quick, cast the dot, move back to their original target, and it continues to do damage to that target and build up aggro because of it. And so, you know, as a warrior, you don't really have that ability. You just have your actual attack. So it's a little bit slower, and you won't be able to really manage as many mobs. And that's why you'll see a lot of the time the warrior in a raid or in a group will be given the task of the main tank, the guy who takes, you know, the hardest creature, the name creature will be on him, and the Shadow Knight or the Paladin will be on off-tanking to get the aggro from any of the creatures that, for whatever reason, leave the tank and go to a caster or a healer or something like that, because they have that ability that the other ones don't have. And I find that...
Died, brother.
Nah, it's alright, man. It's just a, you know, kind of a long run, but we can talk while we do it, so...
Do you want me to drag you? Do you want me to... Dude, I really want to get down there and kill those guys for killing you.
You can? Go
Give me
ahead and
drag
kill.
You to the bridge? If you, yeah, you give me consent, I'll drag you to the bridge.
Well, no, I mean, you can kill him right now, and I'll give you consent in a little while when I can type it out, because I can't see anything right now.
I won't be able to kill him unless you're here, because I only have 29% health, so...
Fine wound, man. Well, it's going to take me like 20 minutes to get there, so I'm sure you'll get full life before I get back.
Oh, now they're all going into the ocean.
That's probably lag, or maybe they're chasing after somebody.
They're resetting is what they're doing now, since they chased me all the way to the zone.
Oh, did you zone?
Yeah, I actually made it.
Yeah, you got to remember, guys, don't just get to the zone line. I know a lot of games are like that nowadays, where all you got to do is get to a distance safe to where they reset and they go back to their spawn point, but that is not how it works in this game. They will chase you to the ends of the earth. I've had it in some zones where I didn't even know I got aggro, or maybe I knew I got aggro, but I didn't care because it was a low-level creature. You get to the other side of the zone, you're like, okay, I'm going to zone it, and then you forget for whatever reason, like a group pops up, and you're like, okay, I'm going to join the group, and you just, you know, you forget that you had that guy on you because he wasn't a big deal. He was a low-level guy, and like 5 hours later, he shows up with a bunch of friends out of the blue because he's been chasing you this entire time, and the paving has been so like messed up that he's been running back and forth, and the zone is so large that it's taken him, you know, like 20 minutes to do that. And I've even seen the paving issues so bad that he will run from one side of the zone to the other side of the zone, move like an inch over to the right or to the left, and do that entire thing back and forth as he slowly moves closer and closer to where you're at, because you happen to be in like this one weird spot that he just can't get to otherwise. And it's kind of weird. It's one of those, did you ever kind of take advantage of the paving? If you do it in this game, you get banned and stuff, but...
No, that's not something I ever did. I mean, I think I've done it in a couple of shooting games, but not in this game. And I really need to start body pulling, like you know, you do all the time. So I need to start utilizing that. I'm not sure if I would have got all those guys if I'd have body pulled, because one was so green to me. I don't think she gave us experience. I'm actually pretty sure she didn't give us experience when I killed her, and she died so fast, man. If you know, if we could, yeah, she didn't give experience. So.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. I mean, the body pool works pretty nice, but I think they were all too clumped together. You were pretty much going to get all of them regardless.
That was actually a bad idea, guys. We're having some bad luck on these couple of videos tonight. It's all AC's fault.
It's
not
actually
my fault, guys.
It's actually not bad luck. Like, this is what you need to expect when you go off exploring a zone that you haven't been to before, because anytime you go to some place, there's a learning curve. Like, you have to learn what mobs do what and which ones come in large groups, and oh, there's casters in there, so I need to be wary of that because those casters hit like a freaking Mack truck. And even if I got to run away, it's actually better just to stand there and heal yourself because of all those issues and things of that sort. Those are things you learn while you're in a zone, but when you go off exploring, you're bound to die. I've talked about this before. You're going to die a lot. So if you're not in the mood for that, if you're not in the mood for the corpse runs that are just, as you guys can see, are quite long in some situations, then I would suggest not doing it. Like, it's going to be one of those things where it's just going to happen. And it's going to happen to everybody. Like, Necromancers, not so much, because you can feign death, and you got so much dots, and you got your pet to kind of take the aggro off of you, but it's still going to even happen to them. And like I said, you know, it's just, if you have a Shaman, at least, or Druid, you can get back to your corpse a whole lot quicker with a Druid, because they can teleport. The Shaman at least has Spirit of the Wolf, so you can run a little bit faster. But all the other classes, they actually have to just run it. I remember,
Druids are awesome, guys. Druids and Wizards, you can port almost anywhere, man. I mean, and where you can't port to, it's maybe like 1 or 2 zones away from running. So you port to your ring, and then you run a couple of zones. It's nothing like playing a warrior, where if you I don't know. When we go to Velius, when me and AC actually finally go to Velius, I'm literally going to have to get a bind in the. I think first maybe I might even have to get faction with the Coldane Dwarves before I can bind there. I'm not sure about that. So
I don't know. It depends on what level we are when we go there. If we're high enough, I think I can toss a invis on you and get you inside. And as long as I'm not kill on sight, I can still cast the bind affinity on you without you being uninvis. Like, I think I can cast it on you still being invisible, hiding in a little corner. And if you find the right corner, because I know that with my Shadow Knight, I had to do that constantly. If I was going to fight in a certain area, I would have to bind myself into a good town, because that was the only town close by. And the downside to that is, if you're not a class that has invisibility, like the Shadow Knights, they're a very, very rare breed when it comes to invisibility. They get both regular invisibility and invisibility versus undead. So I could go in there and I can bind myself into a corner that was perfectly safe, sit down and med up when I die, put my invis on, and run out of the zone perfectly fine. But for you, that's going to be a little difficult, because you don't have invisibility. And when you die, you're going to spawn there without any invisibility potions or anything of that sort. And you're going to have to somehow run out of the zone without dying, so.
All right, so how far away are you? I'm like sitting right next to your corpse on the beach, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding your corpse. Let's go look for that bridge next. I don't want to get us killed again. I was wanting to try them again, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just running along the beach in western Karana, so I'll be there in just a few minutes. But So what are you thinking of your warrior class so far? Are you enjoying him?
It's surprising how much fun he is. You know, it's like AC Gamer said, there is a lot of difficulty with the warrior. You have to be bound in a city. I think there are some zones that you can be bound in, but otherwise, if it's not one of those special zones, you literally have to, like, if we move into Eastern Commons and around Oasis and stuff like that, I'll have to be bound at Freeport. And I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, Freeport's an evil city, is it not?
No, I don't think it is.
Guys? Are they neutral?
I actually thought they were for a long time, and I just recently went through there with my High Elf Cleric, and he didn't get attacked by anything. So if a High Elf Cleric can go through that zone, pretty sure it's not evil, because they're about as goody two shoes as you can possibly get.
Now I think you can also be bound in the High Keep. I think we can be bound in High Keep.
Yeah,
correct?
Because it is a city zone. Yeah.
Right. I love that zone, guys. High Keep. I can't wait to tank there. The goblins there, they hit really hard, and it's really tough on a cleric. But warriors, they get all the glory. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the goblins drop fine still. There's a bank right next to it. There's also a
in High Keep or High Pass?
In High Keep.
High Keep is amazing though, because there's that quest there that you can do as well for the pickaxes and the ears. It's actually in the zone.
And there's a vendor too. There's a vendor near the bank, so you can literally get your fine steel weapons, go vendor them, and then bank your money. So you're never going to be overweight. You're never going to be encumbered. You know, you're just going to have a good time.
The bank's like 20 feet away from where you're actually sitting in this group. I mean, it's that close, guys. It's freaking nuts.
I can't wait.
And there's...
I think me and AC Gamer, we've been talking about it now. AC, correct me if I'm wrong, but once my warrior gets up to a certain level, once I get up to like level 23 or 24, you guys may start seeing his cleric and my warrior together, because as much as I love the Shaman buffs are second to none. Shaman buffs are awesome. I think high level cleric buffs may be a little bit better for AC and
hit points. Yeah.
And hit points, but the Shaman buffs can give you quickness,
agility, dexterity, strength, all your other stats, every other stat.
But the cleric is going to be the better healer for me, guys. So I don't know. We're still talking about it. Leave a comment. What's your opinion? should I keep with my buddy Demiro, or should I go hang out with Demiro?
Right. Yeah, I think I'll probably be playing my cleric, to be honest, guys. I mean, if you guys don't want me to, then I won't. But I love my cleric. Like, he's my favorite. I know that a lot of you guys have heard me say that. And then I'm playing my shaman all the time, and it's just because I've had a friend join the game, you know, and I wanted him to get up a little higher so that we could start going to a lot of the zones. But I loved high pass and high keep, and I do want to go there. But I'm having a blast coming back to these zones. These are the zones that I really wanted to go to with my Shadow Knight as well. And so it's nice to come over here and kind of get a little bit of that back for a little while. And then when I come back with my Shadow Knight, I'll probably spend a lot more time in each one of these areas, or I'll pick out a few of them and spend a lot of time in, because there's a lot more to these areas that I'm showing.
Now, is ZK texting you? Sorry, bro, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't know. I have my
Okay, just
my chat. No, he didn't. I think he sent me a tell earlier, but I had to camp out, and so I didn't get to him in time on that one.
all right. So, guys, if you hear me clicking on my keyboard, I'm gonna try and keep it